if you do the resolution before we enact that contract or the fee thing, they'd be grandfathered in. We could put it in the resolution though that they.
I think we should, because they're specifically requesting quite a few things from the town in the proposal.
I agree.
We have never charged an organization like this because it benefits the town of Wilmington. It's basically doing good for the town of Wilmington.
Yep.
So we have never charged fees to organizations that are trying to do good for the town of Wilmington. So I would not be in favor of charging a Wilmington organizational or society that is trying to benefit and raise awareness to the history of Wilmington.
They're just raising funds for themselves.
Exactly.
They're not for profit.
Exactly. So I don't know why we would want to charge somebody that's trying to get benefit and raise funds to build a building to benefit Wilmington.
Because you go to exceed the tax cap every year. And we need to do something to stop exceeding the tax cap.
Okay, I think what we could do is we can revisit the fact that we give them $500.
And we gave them $600 last year.
Yeah, we gave them 500, and then we paid. Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did do that because it was important.
Maybe we should be more specific with beneficial to Wilmington.
Okay.
I mean, because that's such a convenient sort of saying, oh, this is convenient, this is beneficial to Wilmington. But I'm not sure that everyone feels that it's.
You're never going to get everybody to agree.
Exactly.
And when it's an organization that's trying to do good because Wilmington has a history and is trying to make everybody that visits here see Wilmington history, I think that is a benefit to Wilmington. And I think they are doing good for the town.
You're right. Is the whiskey run really showing Wilmington's history?
This is a fundraiser for that organization.
Yeah,
So yes, it is.
I think that we should add the caveat in the resolution and then have a board vote when they come forward with their proposal for their form for the fee use, or whatever we decide to do for the fee use, we just revisit it.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to move to table it, and then we'll have a regular meeting. At our regular meeting, hopefully we can finish the permit form stuff instead of hypothesizing about it now.
Darren, I do agree that they do benefit the
Absolutely.
town.
Nobody is.
Yes.
Yep.
And I agree that nearly or every organization that uses the town facilities, fields, parks, etc., benefits the town. So if we go by that criteria, then there's no point in having this form.
I agree with you because you take towns like Lake Placid, they pay Iron Man to come. They pay for these things to come because they want people to come to their town and visit their town and have events in their town. So I think us charging for any type of event to bring people to Wilmington, to show off our town, to bring business to the little supermarket, to bring business to our hotels, to bring business to our vacation rentals, any business in town can benefit in various ways. So charging any of these organizations that's showing off our little town and making it one of the great towns in the area is absolutely absurd to me. Why would we want to charge people that are bringing stuff to Wilmington and trying to get people to see our little town? It just doesn't make sense.
What is your idea for raising revenue so that we don't exceed the tax cap every year?
When more people come into town, though, you get more sales tax.
That's not how it works.
No, you get $1. Remember, he ended last
That
week.
is not how it works. It's based on population. It's not based on where the sales tax comes from.
No,
It's really convoluted.
It's convoluted.
It's going to Mariah and Ticonderoga.
But to be honest with you, to the extent that the sales are generated by our local businesses, it helps the local businesses pay their bottom line and keep their employees paid and things like that.
That's 100% the trickle-down effect. It's like any of our businesses that do good helps our people that work for those businesses, that helps them pay their taxes.
Yep.
It's like it has to start somewhere, and making sure that every business does well in town helps every resident in town.
But Darren, let's say that the fee is $300. How much are they taking in? This is a fundraiser. All of these are fundraisers for these organizations. They're still going to profit $2,700 or $5,000 or whatever they make. If our fee is $400, we're still giving them, we're still.
We're not giving them anything.
We are giving, yes, we absolutely are.
We are.
Yes, we are. Yes.
I feel as a town, we have a duty to provide a certain level of services
We do.
to our residents and to our community
We do.
to hold events like this.
Right,
Not
we do.
necessarily to tourists.
Right.
There's a difference.
Everybody in our community benefits from
No,
things like
that's
this.
not true.
No, I
It
don't
isn't true.
benefit.
That's not
100%.
No
I
way.
Incorrect.
benefit when
100%
No way.
all of the trails are being used by all of these tourists.
You benefit in a roundabout way because when our businesses do better, then the taxes go down, everything else. When it's a trickle down effect. Just because you don't see it directly doesn't mean you're not getting a benefit out of these events. And you know what? If 80% of or 50% of our residents go to these things and enjoy the music that day or enjoy any of the stuff that's going on, that's a benefit that we're providing for our residents. Do we want a town where there's nothing going on?
The town beach music is a different situation.
That's absolutely the same type of thing.
No, it's directed for the town members, whereas the whiskey run is about bringing in tourists.
No, it's for the town, right? Anybody can go, it's free.
If you look at the Whiskey Run's roster, we have a lot of locals on that roster that do that run, that do that walk. It's not just people out of town.
No one's saying it's bad.
No, I'm just saying.
There are
When you
people
say
out of
it's
town.
people that are just out of town, no, there's a
but
lot of locals.
There are
on
also
there.
a lot of out of
There are a lot of out of town, I'm not saying, but there are a lot of people on there that are local.
Regardless
So
of,
it's both, it's both. But we do
Regardless-
need both, we need locals and we need
Yeah.
out of town, because we need tourists to help keep the businesses open,
We're no
for
one's,
restaurants
no
and
one's
other
saying-
things like
Let
that.
somebody finish and then.
But as far as the whiskey run, not any of the other events we're talking about, I'm only talking about the whiskey run because that's what's on, we're talking about right now. For cleanup and things like that, because I know we're always talking about what involves the town. What exactly involves the town for that?
you know, when the Parks Department kept track of their hours and their mileage.
Yeah.
And it came out to $700, very close to $700 of time. It's setting up tents. I think,
For the whiskey run?
yes,
Okay.
I believe.
Well, no, I'm
I don't
asking.
know. I don't know the
I'm
answer to that
asking because I
question.
know they have a lot of volunteers and I know
Yeah.
Bob Peters and all them do a lot themselves. That's why I'm asking.
And those figures, I'm
Can
not
I answer
saying,
the question?
Just a minute, one at a time.
And that's what I'm
Yes.
just wondering. I'm just wondering what exactly is involved with that event.
Thank you, Tina. Tim?
I don't know exactly because I don't think he wrote down what he did necessarily, although I think I do have those documents with me. Yeah, so he just wrote, he just wrote 16 hours, for 2 fly. But he didn't, there's no, oh no, he did actually write it on the back. So I can answer the question. So these are for all of the events that he worked for. So 2 fly was the one that Laura has on top.
whiskey run.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Thank you.
See, we didn't get a copy of those, so I don't know
You
what it
did.
is. I don't.
You did.
I did earlier, yeah.
Oh, okay, because I didn't. I don't.
A couple months ago.
Okay.
I have no idea what that word is.
The feather flags, site cleanup.
Then there's one on the back.
Yeah. I don't know about the total, but he just had hours, so it's like
Regular hours.
11
and then
hours.
32 miles. Yep.
And that was for John, and then there's other people associated with it. There's
Okay.
13 hours, 5 hours, 11 hours associated with the whiskey run for
So-
the Three Parks Department.
Okay.
I will just for John. Feather flags, which I don't know what that is. Tents, event trash cans, hay bales, distribute cones and barricades,
Okay.
clean up at garage for parking, trash removal, breakdown at site, and putting everything away.
how many of those hours were overtime?
None.
So then it didn't cost the town of Wilmington anything because he's here for the day anyway. And if he wasn't doing that, we'd still be paying him to do other work. So it didn't in the end cost the town anything
Well,
other
John-
than 32 miles because we're still paying his salary whether he's setting out feather flags or mowing a lawn.
John
We're
did-
still paying for it.
John did say that it cuts in, the summer events cuts into his upkeep of other things.
Well, maybe we should just cancel all events in town, and then that's what it seems
Darren,
like
we're
people
asking
want.
for like a microscopic amount these people can write off these fees that they're ending up paying. It's a tax deduction for them. It's also a benefit to the town. It's microscopic. They make $10,000 on the event. We're asking them for
They send out
$300.
newsletters 2 or 3 times a year to try to beg for money. And the least the town can do is help set up their event, and we're going to say, no, we're not going to employ any employees unless you pay us to do that. It's like, this town has gotten to a new level of ridiculousness if we can't help set up events. Most towns beg for events to come, and we're saying, we're not going to do any events until you pay us to do them. It's absolutely absurd.
That's not what we're saying.
100% that's what we're saying.
That's what you're interpreting. That's not what we're saying.
You're jumping.
I'm not sure I am jumping, because that's exactly what's going on. Please pay us to have your event.
We're not diminishing.
You keep saying that. You're misrepresenting Wilmington when it says it costs $700. It doesn't cost the town $700 because we have to pay him anyway.
So we have to just explain the same things to you 100
all the time.
And you'll
Oh dear, don't, listen, that's out of order.
Yeah.
Stop. Time after time after time, this gets brought up.
Why do you personalize it like that?
Every single time. We've talked about this shit
Just
100
explained
times.
it to him
I'm sorry,
30
but
seconds
it's
ago,
ridiculous.
and he goes back to the same talking point.
You go back to the same talking point, Tim. This is brought up 20 times.
Okay,
We keep telling you no.
You keep telling, okay,
Yes,
okay.
We can
I'd like
all
to
have
make-
different opinions.
A motion that we table this until,
when I tabled the thing already.
until the next meeting.
Yeah, I tabled it, because we don't have a coherent policy. My distinction in my mind is, are they out-of-town events trying to, like the Adirondack Sports Council, or the out-of-town events? So if the Wilmington Historical Society is down in our basement, for Pete's sake, they hold all their meetings in here. They want to, they use our kitchen. We have a really close relationship with them. And if we could eliminate too many extraneous costs, we're not treating them as sort of an outsider who wants to use it. But we have to come to some right understanding about how much we are charging as permits. No, I'm finished talking. We're finished. Thank you for the public comment.
I'm not positive we ever got to public comment.
No, we did. I thought